Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose UCAR. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
Hey!
Oh.
Hello, Jose. Where have you gone?
Oh, hello, Elliot. How is it going, buddy? Look, mate, it's just my favorite toy. So I grew up watching. Toy. Okay, there we go. So
for those of you listening on audio, I'm holding a giraffe, which goes with Be More Giraffe, and then Jose's holding a.
This is Massinger set from the 1980s. I grew up watching Massinger set, so it's kind of I carry it with me, and it's.
What's the name?
Here. Massinger set.
Massinger set. Okay.
But if you say it in Japanese, it's Majinga Seto.
Oh, very good. Massinger Seto. Hey.
I didn't say anything. Only said Majinga Seto. I'm thinking about how to link this with today's topic.
What is today's topic?
Today's topic is how to be a master speaker.
But surely all you need to do to be a master speaker, surely all you need to do to become a master speaker is just speak, right? You just get up on stage and speak. Isn't it that easy, Jose?
Yeah, exactly. So I present, and I've done it in the past, and then that's it. You're a master speaker. So that's all you have to do.
I disagree.
People... Oh, do you? Well, so do I. Are you? Is that a fart? Is that a burp? What is it? It sounds interesting.
It's meant to sound like no.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't though, really does.
It does. Yeah, it does. It just like,
does it really? Let's have another listen. I don't think that sounds like no at all. Although the yes sounds like yes.
Yes. That's better. That's better.
That sounds like a. It sounds more like a burp than a no, right?
It is a bit of a burp, yeah. That's okay. I mean, when people say, "Yeah, I speak," because they only done a few presentations and they consider themselves speakers, then give them a.
Yeah, I think you could be on your way to being a master speaker, and I think this is where a lot of people potentially, what's the word I'm looking for here? Get it wrong, or mistaken, or misled, or they attend a 5-day intense training on public speaking and they're a master speaker or a master salesman. And I think actually, when it comes down to it, obviously there's a lot more to it in terms of time invested, experience gained to become a master speaker, which is what we're talking about today. But also I think there's 6 key ingredients to become a master speaker.
Are you gonna give them away now? I love it when Elliot comes with he's got the 6 steps, he's got the 6 steps, he's got the 6 elements. What is that it rattle? What is it? That's
money.
Is it money? Okay.
Coinage.
Okay. So all right.
Because when you become a master speaker, you
that's much better. Okay, so
you win the jackpot. But here's what I do want to say in all seriousness. Mastery is an ongoing process. It's a never-ending evolution, right? So you become a masterful speaker because of a collection of skills and a delivery ability which continuously grows and grows and grows and grows, right? So if you think about it, Les Brown still listens back and dissects seconds and dissects, bits of his talks. A lot of the top speakers I know will always review, look what to improve. World-class comedians, how can they deliver better? What can they improve? What can they change? They go and have extra coaching, extra mentors to help them go to another level. So master isn't a finishing post. To become masterful speaker, masterful isn't an end game. It's a continuous journey. So I want to say that. I'm going to start with the 6 key areas, and then we can discuss it, and then you can agree or disagree with me as long as you know I'm right, and then we can go from there. How's that sound?
What can I say? Yes, take me on a journey.
Exactly.
take me on that journey. Let's take the audience on that journey.
All right, let's do
Over
this.
to you. Let's do it, Elliot.
So to become a masterful speaker, here we go. The first ingredient, and they're in no particular order, by the way, but they're the 6 key ingredients. Now I've dissected thousands and thousands of different talks, different speakers, and I've come up with these 6 key ingredients. 6 key ingredients. That's 6 key ingredients. Have I said 6 enough? Number 1.
6
is the purpose of your talk. To be a masterful speaker, understand the purpose of the talk you will deliver, the purpose for the audience, and the purpose for you as a speaker. And then that helps drive the content you will create. So the purpose is multidimensional. The purpose for you as a speaker, the purpose for the audience. Now, that purpose also ties into your big why. What is your purpose for speaking? Right, as well. So purpose is a massive piece of becoming a masterful speaker, right? We've done a whole podcast about how to deal with rejections and things like that. So listen to the episode we did with David, the sales angel. But when you're purposeful with your speaking, you're taking note. Good boy.
I'm taking notes.
Good stuff. So purpose for you as a speaker, purpose for the audience. The other thing I want to talk about when it comes to purpose is what is the key outcomes of delivering that purpose, right? So think about that. That's step number 1, or piece number 1 to becoming a masterful speaker. Should I keep going, or do you want to interject in between?
I mean, now it's very clear. So when it comes to purpose, I think it's one of the most powerful elements, and you started that as a number 1. So amazing, Elliot. Yeah, cool. Let's carry on. Yeah.
The other thing when it comes to, if we build on purpose, is your message, right? To become a masterful speaker, you've got to have clear messaging that lands on the audience and solves and addresses what keeps them up at night, what their challenges are, but also what is the unique messaging that you bring to the table as well, right? And I think that's very important. Now, that can evolve, that can change, that can shift, but unless you have a clear message, what are people going to leave with, right? What's going to differentiate you? So masterful speaking, or becoming a masterful speaker, means having absolute clarity in your messaging, but also having a uniqueness. Also, where's it gone? Where have you gone?
Got the giraffe.
Being more giraffe with it. Okay. So I just want to say that as well. So that's the second ingredient. The next part is, one of my favorite words in the world. And, Jose loves me when I say it. It's structure. Oh, yeah. Like world-class, masterful speakers, they just walk on stage, deliver stuff like it's hot because they don't understand where it's going. And they're just so good that they pull it out of their bum hole and they deliver it, right? No, wrong. Not the case. Structure breeds freedom. To be masterful, what you do is you master structure that gives you the freedom to express yourself, to deliver your message, to get that outcome, the purpose of your speaking, right? That is part of becoming a masterful speaker. Understanding. Now, here's the thing. When I deliver training, of course, I have a structure for the different talks I deliver. But within those talks, there's various structure for each section to have mass impact. And I think, Jose, you experienced that a couple of weeks ago when we did the training in London, right? So I did one on story. But then, of course, I have a 6 talk structure and I have a keynote structure. And within that, there's various structure. So every section has the mass impact. If you allow things to chance, maybe you'll land on something great. Maybe you won't. The chances are, without structure, you'll land on okay. You won't land on excellence or genius, which is where I think everybody should operate from. And we can have a conversation between difference of excellence and genius if you really want. You hear me, baby boy? But for now, we're just going to talk about it like that, yeah? So structure. The next thing is, again, one of my favorite things, is relatable language. Masterful speaking is the ability to take the complex and make it simple. I'm going to say that again. It's the ability to take the complex and make it simple. Think about any speaker that inspires you, besides Jose and I, of course. And we'll break for a little break in a second, Jose, so be ready, because I'm going to stop at 3, and then we'll come back for the other 3, right? Now, by the way, Jose's trying new music today.
You've done 4, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So we'll stop.
So I'm keeping track of it.
I can see relatable language. Yes. But think of all the speakers that have really spoken to you. Now, what we work very hard on when you're a world-class speaker is making sure the language is relatable, speaks directly to you in a way that it's simple for you to process. If you're sitting there trying to analyze what this means and what that means, or I didn't quite get that, I don't know that acronym, you feel isolated. The best example I can give is this. Years and years ago, I went to dinner with my father-in-law, who runs a hedge fund in America. And then I met this other guy who runs a hedge fund in the UK, who's also American and really cool guy, very loud, eccentric American guy, fantastic. So, do you know what a better idea than bringing them together, have a conversation about hedge funds? Also, he brought his son, I guess my brother-in-law, who's an economist, right? And I sat at the table, and I kid you not, for 3 hours, I could not interject or add anything to the conversation. Zero. They spoke in such a language that was so unique to people in that space. Acronyms that only other, and I eventually just turned to this guy next to me and, hey, how are you? Just so I could speak to someone, right? And he was really cool. Actually, turned out to be a really cool media producer guy. And we had a really nice chat, right? Now I'm taking that context of a meal, and you take that and you put that on stage, virtual or non. And if you're speaking language that's alienating a part of the audience, then you lose half of the audience, right? Or part of the audience. Genius. Look at Steve Jobs. Absolute genius in taking the complex and making it simple. So much so that he would sell an item that no one understood, no one knew how it worked, and he would sell it out, right? And that's part of his genius, of course, but I just want you to understand that is the big part of making language relatable.
Elliot, I think, as I said on the previous episode, I think we're spending too much time together, because I was just thinking about that one. And I was waiting for you to finish to mention how Steve Jobs, he used to make things so easy to understand. Even when he launched the iPod, right, he could have said, this got so many gigs and whatever of memory. He said you could actually have 1,000 songs in your pocket. And this is what I'm talking about. That way, what Elliot is saying is just making sure it appeals to people. People understand it, to any audience. Who wouldn't understand how to, that this device would enable you to have 1,000 songs in your pocket? So I'm loving the conversation, Elliot K. You are on fire. Fantastic. You're burning. Yeah, boom.
It's amazing. So let's quickly tell people a bit about the podcast. Jose, you ready?
I'm ready.
We're trying a new track today, people. Here we go.
Let's see how it goes.
Oh, not that one. That's actually me pressing
thank you very much. Yeah, definitely. Now I'm very motivated.
Now we've summoned the higher power. Here we go.
You're listening to the Public Speaking Experts podcast. So if you like what you're hearing, go and subscribe, get in touch, leave us a comment, and we will give you incredible gifts. I say, well, you see what? I'm not flowing with this song. It's kind of too fast.
Is it not sitting with you?
I don't know. Okay, let me just go again. So yeah, you subscribe, leave us a message, and we'll get back to you. We'll give you incredible gifts in return. Also, if you like Elliot, myself, what we share here on a daily basis, you can invite us to speak. We can coach you. Check out our websites. Get in touch, because we don't only want you to become a great speaker, but we want you to
speak your greatness.
Yay! I'm in two minds with that.
I like it. You know why I like it more than our other one? And I'll tell you why. Very quickly before we carry on. And because this one, as much as I like it, right, it's just a bit slow, right? And actually your energy with the one we've just done is better. And so eventually we're going to get around to recording it. So you don't have to do it live, or I don't have to do it live every time. So this is nice. And then you start doing it,
Yeah, because I've got too much time. Yeah, the other one is definitely faster. Okay, exactly. Look, people, did you understand what I said then? If you did, great. If you didn't, great.
There we go.
To you, Elliot. Let's carry on.
This episode is sponsored by... Who sponsored
You tell me. Well, the previous one, you sponsored this one. It's obviously Elliot and Jose, but Elliot has got something incredible for you today. So what is it, Elliot?
Here's what today's sponsored by giggetters.com, right? So if you want to get booked without lifting a finger, if you want to get paid without lifting a finger, If you want someone to do all the hard work, reaching out, connecting, finding those relationships, opening those doors, reach out to giggetters.com, because we have the unique secret to make it happen.
You see people selling.
Yes.
Selling doesn't have to be boring. It can be a fun process as well. So
Exactly.
check out the previous episode with the sales angel, and let's crack on with
Let's
today's
do this. I'm loving
episode.
today. I love all our episodes, by the way. I think it's all just brilliant. Actually, it's definitely, recording this has definitely made my Monday even brighter than it already was. So listen, we've talked about purpose, right? We've talked about clear message. We've talked about structure, and we've talked about language.
Relatable,
There's two left before we wrap it up. Is this. The other one, of course, to be a masterful speaker is continuous work on impact, right? You've got to look at the impact you bring. You've got to continually measure it. You need to work on it. You need to tweak on it. But it is thinking, how can I be impactful as a speaker? Again, breaking down each section. What is the impact I want for the section? But also, how can I deliver that with impact? Is this the part I tell a story? Which story? Which part of a story? Is this part we go into content? Well, how can I make the content interesting? What can I do to shake things up? Be different, be more giraffe. So that's the second one, is be impactful as a speaker, impactful with your content, impactful with your delivery. Because remember, when you dial back to the purpose piece, it's about the audience and the purpose for the audience. So how can you be impactful as well? And the last thing I'm going to talk about is this, which actually relates to being impactful, is having a unique story, right? Have a unique story. Let me say that again. I think you should have a unique story. Computer says,
yes.
Right? You've got to have a unique story, because, again, what happens is a lot of people, they train with some great people, of course. But what they end up doing is they end up taking what they've been trained and using that. Now, that's okay when you're getting going. Here's the problem with that. If everybody or a lot of people are saying the same thing or sharing the same story, you're definitely not being giraffe and you're not being unique. Find your unique story, like that one story that you can tell in various talks, or have a collection of unique stories that really magnify and amplify the content, what you're talking about, the impact you're going to bring. Unique story which you can weave throughout. Now, again, think back to masterful speakers, right? They all have a unique story that they tell, whether it's theirs or not. They always have that kind of that moment where they switch on this story and they take the audience on and they hit the mic like I just did, but they take the audience on this ride. And it, depending whether it's a 90-minute 45 or whether it's a 3-day, and this story is continuously a thread throughout. Just look at Gary Vee. Unique story. He's been telling it for over a decade and he's a multi-millionaire as a result. The thing is with Gary Vee, he's been telling the same story for years and years and years. Why? Because it's unique, right? And the thing that a lot of people fall into is they don't feel their story is unique. That's not true. You need to find uniqueness within your story. And that's the sixth ingredient, Jose. I have been speaking. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So what do you want me to do? Just thank you very much for the masterclass.
What do you want to add? Come on, give me some juice. Give me some love.
I'll give you some orange juice. So there you go, people. One of the things I would say is be ready as a speaker. Always be ready. Be in the right state and mindset. So when situations like this happen to you, you know what to say, or you've got something to say. Elliot, the structure. Well, as you know, Elliot is, in my opinion, the king of structure. And also one of the things he does incredibly well, he's very talented, is when he goes and you share a story with him, but then, I don't know how, he gives you back your story transformed with some different angles and tweaks and things that definitely elevate it. So that's one thing I wanted to say in appreciation, for all the different points you shared today. I agree with them and actually wrote them down just in case I needed to revisit. So there we go. Purpose. Yeah, we've spoken about purpose, the message, structure, how relatable, impact, unique story. I would like to touch on the unique story. Because as Elliot said, many of us, and we hear it in the program when people come to me, but I haven't got stories. Why? Because this is what's happening. We're comparing ourselves. We're comparing our stories with Gary Vee's. We're comparing our stories with someone else, with Les Brown, with, people out there. And it doesn't matter. Because what really matters is that the right person hears your story and that person does something with it. And that is the ripple effect that it's going to bring. And in the process, knowing, Elliot touched on this, masterful speakers, they didn't happen overnight. They've been telling that story over and over and over again. We had a session also, one of the episodes of the podcast was about keynotes. So it's about how much you actually rehearse, practice. How many times? Elliot recommends at least 50 times. And not just 50 times, plus the 50 or 100 that you can rehearse in your mind as well, going through your talk, the results you want to get throughout. So people, how do you find a story? First of all, start looking for stories, because you will realize once you give your mind, especially the unconscious mind, that command, you're going to start finding stories everywhere. Sorry, I just got a bit of itchy nose. And sometimes a good way to improvise is just whatever you've got around you. You see, use it to practice. What could I tell you about this? I'm 3, 4, 5 years old and still remember sitting on my grandma's lap, watching, different TV shows every day. And I couldn't wait for that moment to arrive. I even watched soap operas before that. No wonder, how I am the way I am. It may have had an impact. But then that's one of the moments I still miss the most. Every afternoon I used to spend with my grandma. Now, that just came to mind as I grabbed the robot behind me. I didn't plan this. The story is very raw, still need to work on it. But that right away gave me something to speak about next time, if I want to use it to illustrate a point. You get what I'm saying here? So if you can grab the mug, you can use the phone and ask yourself, what kind of stories could I tell about my phone that will help me illustrate the points for my talk? And again, Elliot shared this, the last point, but then if you go back to the purpose and the message and everything else, it's going to give you a lovely structure. Believe you got stories, people. And start taking action. Elliot shares 6 points here. Do something with them. And what I want you to do, I'm going to put this back because otherwise it's just going to do my head in while I'm speaking. Yeah, I like that thing being organized. A bit OCD, a little bit, just a little bit. So apply. We always say this, and I'm never going to get tired of this, apply, because in the previous episode, we also spoke about, never being your finished product. You're always going to be evolving. So look for opportunities, improve. Look, I'm not coming up with stories today. What can I do? Grab a glass of water. What kind of stories can I use? Can I tell? Let imagination flow. You've got things to share, and then practice. Practice and practice and practice. The beauty of everything that we share on this show is that you can go and watch all the different episodes, and we're going to get it at least 2,000. We've only published 27 today. Up to 1,000 people. So you can only imagine the amount of value you're going to be getting. I'm going to, just wrap up by saying, Elliot K, buddy, love you. I so love my Mondays, especially afternoons, because no matter how my weekend was, my Monday was, last week was, this moment is a moment of connection, presence, and impact. Some of the points you touched on, impacting our lives and the lives of people around us through the power of public speaking. So public speaking, amazing human beings, is transformational. So all of you listening to this, to the giraffe, to the messenger set,
say hello to everybody on LinkedIn. Hello, everybody that's watching on LinkedIn. Yeah.
I love it. I got carried away in there. I just wanted to say it, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to sleep.
The other thing I want to say is someone asked what happened to my hat on LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, I haven't been the coach with the hat for, what is it, 2020, for 7 years. So what happened was I took it off and I rebranded. And since then I've rebranded and I've rebranded again. So just to answer your question, what happened to my hat? In 2015, I took it off and moved to strategy. I did strategy till really 2019. Obviously, I've been involved in Speaker Express since day one in 2011. And then 2018, I moved full time into Speaker Express and have been doing ever since. So that's what happened to my hat. I still don't have it. People always ask, do I still have the hat? No, I don't. Maybe I do in a box. I might have the original Coach with a hat, but it's gone.
Is that a challenge for the next episode, for you to find the hat and put it on?
No, it's not really a challenge I want. I don't know. I have no idea what it could be. To be completely
I don't care about that challenge.
I love these questions. So if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, put these questions in, right? We've got our producer keeping an eye on the various channels so you can ask these questions. Of course, if you have a question when you're listening to the podcast, just put it in the comment box. We'll keep an eye on, and we will answer on the next episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and whoever leaves a comment as well, a good comment, will get a copy of the book Speak, Influence, Sell, depending what I've got in stock. How to Stand Out, Speak, and Be More Giraffe. But of course, as of March, you'll be able to finally purchase our very own book, as long as Jose pulls his finger out and starts writing the intro chapter and the outro chapter, because everything else is there. Then we will be able to send it to you in March. It will be launched in March, whether Jose wants it or not. So there we are. Just be prepared.
Yeah, sorry, I had a bit of a connection problem here. I didn't hear the last bit you said, but yeah, I'm liking your contributions, Elliot. Very valuable.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. You know what? I tell you what we could do. By then, it's probably going to be our 50th episode, so we could launch the book on the 50th episode.
And then we do like a crazy party as well.
And then we do launch podcast stroke book.
And then people get to join us live and everything else. Look, let's aim for it. Let's do it. Picha. Yes. I just called you Picha. I'm sorry. That's not very polite. Well, you would have to do the translation.
But anyone in Spanish might go like, why is it just called him that?
It depends on what Spanish as well, because in my country, it means like, when you play with I don't know what you call the little things that you play when you're growing up.
Marbles.
Is it the marbles? Maybe. Yeah.
The round balls.
Yeah, the round bits. Yeah, marbles. So you can call them picha in some parts of the country, but then I know the other one means something else. I don't know what I'm speaking about. Picha. Let's talk about microphones and speaking.
There we go. Okay, so remember, there's a new episode every Saturday, so make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. There's a Public Speaking Expert show on Instagram, where not only can you get hold of what's coming up next, but also you can download a whole bunch of resources and have access to what we're doing on Clubhouse every single day at midday, 12 o'clock, Monday to Thursday. We don't do Fridays anymore. So make sure you tune in. Thank you very much. Remember to go out there.